Last week we looked at reading information from bar graphs and tables, and part of that with the bar graphs was looking at the scales that were used on the bar graph so that we could read off how high the bars were. So we're going to take a look at more work on scales this week, and we're going to start with the number line. So here's a number line here. How do we fill in each of these values here? Because there's only two that have been marked. So what we do is we take 16 minus 6, use a calculator if you need to, that's 10. We then look at how many spaces there are between the 6 and the 16. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have to take the 10 values that are between 16 and 6 and divide by the number of boxes that we have. So that tells us that each one of these is going up in 1. So this is 7, 8, one more, one more, one more, and so on, all the way up. And we can also do it going back down the way, 1 less there, 1 less there, 1 less there. Let's take a look at another number line. So we have 51 to 41, or 41 going up to 51. That is a distance of 10. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. So we've got to divide 10 by 10 again and get 1. So again, we're going up in 1. 1 more than 41 is 42. 1 more than 42, 43, and so on, all the way up to 51 and beyond. And then again, back from 41, 1 below 41 is 40, 1 below that, 1 below that, and we can complete the scale for that one. Here's another one. This time it's 110 minus 50. That's a distance or difference of 60 values. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. So we have to divide 60 by 6. So that tells us this time that each of these are going up in 10. So 50 plus 10 is 60. 60 plus 10 is 70. 70 plus 10, and so on. And beyond the number that was written there, we can keep going with our number line all the way up. And 50 minus 10, 40, below 10, 30, another 10 off, 20, 10. So we complete this scale. Let's take a look at this one. 32 minus 22 is 10. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that means we've got to go up in 2s. 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, and then we can go on above the 32 and we can take 2's off going back down this way and complete our scale. This one, different numbers again, different amount of sections. 110 minus 45 is, oh, I put that one in the wrong way. 110 minus 45 is 65. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 spaces this time. So 65 divided by 13 is 5. So this is going up in 5s. 45 plus 5, 50. 55, 60. 65, 70, and so on. And we can go above the 110, adding on 5 each time. And we can take away 5 each time. This one here, far less spaces or boxes to fill. 200 take away 100. And then we have 2 boxes here. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. So each of these are 50. So 100 plus 50, 200 plus 50, 250 plus 50, 300 plus 50, and so on, means we can complete that scale. 500, take away 400 is 100. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So each of these are going up in 25s. This one here, 500 plus 25, 525 plus 25, and so on, adding on 25 each time. So, where does that fit into real life work? Well, we've got lots of scales. For example, getting your own weight, standing on a set of scales. Here, the arrow is pointing to somewhere between 100 and 120. So we do 120 minus 100 is 20. And if we look here, there's these lines here. There's these darker lines, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So we divide 20 by 4. So that means that that's 100 there, that's 105, that's 110. So this is 115 pounds. Measuring jugs for liquids. This is giving us two different kinds of scales here. We have fluid ounces. Each of these are marked, every second one is going up in 2s. So we've got 4 minus 2 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. So that tells us that that's 3 ounces, that's 5, that's 7, this is 8, so this is 9. So they've said a half pint, but that could be read as 10 fluid ounces, 11 fluid ounces, 12, all the way up, 18, 19, 20 fluid ounces is the same as 1 pint. Or if we're not working with fluid ounces and pints, which is imperial units, but we're working in metric units, you'll notice here that everything is marked. Every line is marked with a value. 50 millilitres, 100 millilitres, 150. So we're going up in 50s. And then we come to this quarter of a litre, but instead we could say we're going up in 50s. So 50 more than 200 is 250 millilitres. So 1/4 of a litre is 250 millilitres. All the way up, 450, and another 50 would take us to 500, and that's the same as half a litre. A thermometer. We've got a thermometer working in two scales here, degrees Fahrenheit, degrees Celsius. So let's take a look at this one first. The mercury is going between 60 and 80. So 80 minus 60 is equal to 20. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little subsections. So we're doing 20 divided by 10, which tells us that each of these little lines up here are 2s. So we're going 60, 62, 64, 66, 68 is where this is measuring to. So this is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. On the other side, with our degrees Celsius, it's actually right on the mark there. So we could just read that as 20 degrees Celsius. But let's see what happens on the degrees Celsius scale. 20 minus 10, 10. There are 10 little sections there. So that tells us that each of these is worth 1 degree. But as I said, this is marking right across from the 20. So we've got 20 degrees Celsius. On the speedometer, very easily reading this one on the outside here, you'll see the white scale is being measured, if we go right round to here, in kilometres per hour. So that's bang on the 120. So that's telling us that it's 120 kilometres per hour. This one here, though, in the orange, is measuring in miles per hour, but we don't have the little sections here. So it's a bit more difficult to see what this is, but we're saying that it's between 70 and 80. Halfway would be 75, which would be about here. So we could say that that's about 73, 74 miles per hour for that one. So that's your work on scales. I'm now going to set you some scale exercises to do on some worksheets that I'd like you to try for me, doing it in the same way, working out how much is splitting the two numbers that are given on the scale so that we can work out the size of each of the little marks.